Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Freedom Real Estate Podcast. And tonight, we have a very special guest for you. Samuel, who is from our network, is a master short-term rental operator who actually recently left his corporate job to do real estate full-time, which is a huge win and what we're all striving for.
It is a huge win, yes. Yes.
So, let's just jump right into it. Tell me basically what got you into real estate.
Mm-hmm.
I understand you had like a couple of hiccups on your journey from the beginning, but you stuck with it.
Correct.
And you found your niche of short-term rentals.
Yeah, so I started about 10 years ago. This was August 2015. I had a choice. My choice was, do I pay rent to my mother, or do I go find a place myself and have somebody else pay for my mortgage?
Mm-hmm.
So my first property, I was owner occupied. When I went into it, I was just going to do long-term rentals. And then my mother actually had advised me that, hey, why don't you just do room rentals? I'm like, what do you mean? How does that work? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I looked into it, and there's people that come here on H-1 visas that just need a room. They need a mattress and a Wi-Fi. So I started off doing room rentals in 2015, and to this day, I'm still doing it. It's been 10 years. I've been doing midterm rentals over there. And how that really works is that people are here on contract jobs that could be 3 months, 6 months, a year. I've had people that were there for 3 nights. So things happen, but I learned a lot. And back then, I would say rents in Worcester were about $800 for a 2-bedroom. I was getting $800 a room. Wow. And I was making anywhere around $1,600 to $2,000 a month.
That's pretty solid. So your first property was in Worcester?
Yes, it was.
Nice. That's where we all started.
Yeah.
And so where do you normally host? Is it Airbnb or is it Furnished Finder? Was there a different site back then when you started?
Yeah, there's a site called Sulika. That's where I went. And I never used Furnished Finder. A lot of people that do midterm rentals, they look for travel nurses. Mm-hmm. I've never had a travel nurse. I've been doing this for 10 years. And most of my tenants are all from the IT sector.
Got it. Okay. Because Furnished Finder is actually really big in Worcester, and there's a lot of travel nurses here because of like 4 hospitals in the span of like 2 square miles.
Correct.
And so how does it normally work? Do you have people that apply on your site and you have a specific contract with them for that room, or do you have like somebody in the middle does it for you as an automated system? Go into a little bit more detail there.
You just advertise it. Once you advertise it, they reach out to you, reach out to them. Mm-hmm. Right now, I don't really advertise. I have a manager that works at one of the IT companies, so every time there's somebody coming and going, he just lets me know, and I just, my turnover is a lot easier now.
Got it. So how many units do you have now, or how many buildings where you operate your short terms?
So when I first started off, I partnered with a few people that I met at actually Andrew's meetup. Mm-hmm. I kept going to these meetups, all right? So I kept going, and that's where I actually found my mentor, which was Andrew. Mm-hmm. But I came across a couple of great people, and we talked, and our first deal was going to be we're going to buy a motel. All right, that was the first deal that we were going to do.
That's really great.
We actually had it. We had it under contract. We never made it to PNS, so we actually went through the initial stages. We had an offer and everything. So bottom line was that we were going to turn that motel into a midterm rental. Mm-hmm. What I do right now, but when I started with them with these short-term rentals, they had about 6. And my goal was to scale that business. And to this day, we have about 22 right now.
Nice. Yeah. Very cool. And so at what point did you start with partners? Was it from the first deal, or did you do a few on your own, like your 3-family in Worcester?
Yeah, so my midterm rentals, I did it on my own. Mm-hmm. I didn't need any partners for that. I had a second property that I ran into some hiccups. So I sold that off, and then I moved into another property. Did another owner occupied, and did I did midterm rentals as well too. So for the short term rental, I didn't get into short term rental until I partnered up, and they were already doing it. And my job was to go in and help them scale the business, create systems. Like for example, they have VAs. They didn't really have a handbook. They didn't really have a system. So my job was, how do I simplify this? Right? We need supplies. We need handymans. We need techs over here. How do I simplify this so we're not doing 10 different jobs? We can utilize the tools that we already have and be able to create a system.
And so where'd you learn those skills? Is that something that you got from your corporate job, or is that just learning online?
Yep. I was a director in the wireless industry. So for the past 4 years, I had about 5 different states, 50 different retail locations, a bunch of people that worked for me. And I was in that corporate job for 13 years straight. 13 years. I mean, right out of college, I started here. I started as a salesperson. I skipped management, actually. I wasn't a store manager. I wasn't a assistant manager, any of that. I skipped both those levels. I became a district manager at an early age at 20 years old.
Wow.
And that was a challenge because I didn't understand personalities. I never managed anybody. My boss at that time told me, Sam, you got 30 days to figure out because the owner of the company was the one that actually wanted me in that position. So once I got into that position, made magic happen. We were number one. I've been through 4 different buyouts, kept all my people, never had any turnover. And I've learned people, I've learned personalities, I learned how to coach and develop. And I learned how to create systems. So no matter which realignment I had, I would go in, I'd create a system, simplify the process, make it happen, just keep moving forward. And that's when that's when they had promoted me to a director position out in Philly, New Jersey. So I had to travel. It was challenging, but we made things happen.
Nice. Yeah. A lot of times in real estate, when you're partnering, you bring some kind of skill to the table. So if you have somebody that's a finance guy, somebody that's like a good construction project manager, etc., and your skill is the system building, that's what you bring. And it looks like it translated really well into the short-term and medium-term space.
It did. This was a lot easier than what I was used to in my W-2. I'll be
Really?
honest. I was working a lot more in my W-2.
Interesting.
I mean, I had to be HR. I had to be loss prevention. I had to deal with any of the litigations that were going on. So I did a lot more than just people management. It was more about driving the business, making sure it's profitable, and anything that happened behind the scenes, I had my hands in it too. So I was dealing with a lot more versus what I'm dealing with right now. So growing systems, when you're looking at a small business, there's a lot a small business can use, and they don't really see from the outside, right? They're very stuck in working with their hands, right? Sometimes they lose sight of how do I take a step back and hire people to do the job, or how do I find easier ways to get the job done, which I'll talk about later in this podcast, which I did for our short-term rental. But yeah, I mean, it's structure and cadence is what lacks in most small businesses. If you bring structure and cadence, the job gets easier.
Got it. And so how did you find your partners? How did you figure out which partners might be good for you, how you meshed? Tell me a little bit more about that, because I'm assuming you didn't just land on the first guy you met meet up, right?
Yeah, so let me go back a little bit. Let me rewind. My second property that I bought, I ran into a big hiccup, all right? Huge hiccup. The house was condemned. I went through 2 litigations. All right, it took me 4 years to like recoup what I went through. In fact, that first year I gave up. I said, I'm never doing real estate. I'm going to stick to my W-2 because it's so much easier and better. And it was tough because I had a 6-month-old child at that time. And here I am going through all these issues. But anyways, after that, I picked up a book called Think and Grow Rich. I started reading, and then I told myself, you know what? Back in 2020, I told myself, I'm going to go find a mentor. I'm not going to go in to this by myself, because there's a lot of people out there that just all they care about is just making money for themselves, right? I want to find people that are going to bring value to you and people that are going to bring value to themselves, and you can partner and you can make things work. So I went out in search of a mentor, all right? The first person I spoke to, I just felt like he just tried to sell me something, okay? So I went to another guy. The next guy I went to...
And these are all from meetups?
Kind of, yeah. I was searching online. This was before I went to a meetup, all right?
Got it.
So I was searching, where do I find a mentor? I need to learn from somebody, an expert, because I want to learn from somebody. I don't want to go into what I did again in the past. So went online, found somebody local, wasn't a great fit. I found somebody else, and that wasn't a good fit either, because he had no idea what it meant when I was talking about owner-occupied, when I was talking about creative financing, like things I've already done. He had no idea. I'm like, how's this guy gonna mentor me, right? So one day I decided, let me go to these events that people talk about. So I showed up to this event. I see this guy talking. The host was talking, and I'm like, wow, he knows what he's talking about. I want him to be my mentor. All right. So as soon as he was done talking, I walked up to him, and within the first 30 seconds, I'm like, hey, my name is Sam. I want you to be my mentor. That's how it worked out. The first 30 seconds, I didn't know him. He didn't know me. And it was funny because a couple months ago we were talking about this, and he's like, Sam, you came up to me, you didn't know me, and you asked me to marry you. Anyways, his name is Andrew Freed, one of the best mentors out there. We connected. We actually had a mastermind every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. for the next year. All right, so we met up.
And this was 2012.
This was 2022, at the end of 2022 or end of 2023. Now it's 20. Yeah. So it was at the end of one of those years, and we spent the whole year just having a mastermind growing. And at that time, he had 12 units, and here I am trying to get one more, right? So by the end of that year, he had 100 units, and I got one more. So
Andrew makes people feel that way.
so he went from 12 to 100. Now here I am. I bought one more property with 2 more units. So it was good. I mean, he's helped me a lot. I learned a lot from him, and he's the reason why I kept going to meetups, and that's why I met my short-term rental partners.
Got it.
Yeah.
Talk to me about some of the challenges that you had. What are some of the issues where you've really learned a lesson, or something that you thought, oh man, if I didn't run into this, I would have never known or realized this?
Are you talking about short-term rentals or
Short-term rentals, partnerships, anything in your business?
people matter, right? When you're looking for a business partner, I've had multiple people that I spoke to, and it just comes down to, once you learn and understand people, it really comes down to who you're gonna click with, and who you're gonna work well with, right? I think that's one of the most important pieces. I think people just go into business just looking at money, and I don't go into business looking at money. I go into business looking at relationship and value that we're going to bring to each other. Can I bring that person value? What can I do for that person, right? And if I can bring that person value, then that person can bring me value in these other areas that I struggle with. So that's probably one of the lessons, is that don't jump into looking for money. Jump into a business looking to create value, because the money will just come.
Got it. What about a challenge from operating your short-term rentals, or something that you're dealing with the property or the customers?
Okay, I have a good one. So last summer, we were paying a hot tub tech $2,000 a month, and this is in Sandwich, Mass. We have 3 cottages out there, and each of them have a hot tub. So we're paying $2,000, and my problem is that I have guests complaining, saying that the water is dirty. And then I had a guest that checked out, went to the doctors, and they said they had some sort of bacteria from the hot tub. So I'm like, all right, shoot, now we have issues going on, right? So how do I fix this? I'm paying so much money to this guy, and I have problems. So I have a pool myself, and I learned how to balance the pool myself, and I'm thinking, hey, it's probably not hard to teach somebody how to balance a hot tub, how to make it work. So I called...
You're talking about pH balance.
Balancing and shocking it, making sure that it's clean, good to go. There's like a procedure to it, right? So I called one of my cleaners up north in Middleton, and she does a great job. So I wanted to know what kind of product she was using. And at the same time, I ran into another issue in North Adams where the guest had a bacteria too. I'm like, what's going on, right? So
Different guests.
Two different places. So I know we're doing something wrong, okay? So I created an SOP. I created a video. I wanted to use the right products. I don't want to buy any of that cheap stuff. So I went to my cleaner. We had a licensed tech as well too. Create a whole training on how to do it right, and then we negotiated on the price as well too. So I'm paying this guy $25 a turn. Okay, my expenses went down 50%, and I haven't had a single complaint at all since then.
Nice.
Not a single complaint. I went to North Adams, taught that guy how to do it correctly, the products we're gonna use, no issues. I saved 50%. That's A. B, not a single issue on my hot tub.
Nice.
One whole year.
And every single person that comes onto your team, they have to watch that training video. They have to go through your standard procedure.
Yes. There's a procedure that you go through, and I created a liability forms, waiver forms, I created in the guest guidebook. I created processes for them as well too. What they need to do before they leave. Like we cannot have any legal issues going forward.
Got it.
So it was like a couple days it took to set it up. But once we got the system going, never have to worry about it again.
Got it. And you create similar systems for other aspects of the business too.
Yeah, we had virtual assistants, right? VAs that were having me order things. I'm like, hey, how do I get them to order supplies? Stop bothering me. And then I created a whole handbook for them as well too, so they can go through the handbook and understand what the procedure looks like. And if a guest reaches out, because they do 24/7 guest communication on Airbnb, so if a guest reaches out and says, hey, where is this? They're not reaching out to me or the owner. I took videos of every single property inside and out. So anytime there's a question, you're gonna go through that video and you're gonna answer those questions at 11 o'clock at night and not reach out to me. So that's what we did.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's funny. So now that you've established a few units and you have maybe a couple of short-term rentals going, how do you scale from a few that you're doing yourself to maybe operating 10, 20, 50? How do you get started if you're a beginner?
Yeah. So it really comes down to systems, right? I think this is the time that I was probably transitioning away from my W-2. In that transitional period, I was thinking, hey, I have 6 properties that we're managing right now. How do I scale this? Right? How do I scale this to 50? So the first step was I need a list of short-term rentals. Now, I was reaching out to a couple competitors because I wanted to talk to my competitors and see how they're doing it. So I reached out to one. He actually met me at a coffee shop. We sat down and he showed me the process. He showed me what he was doing. He showed me that, hey, I'm going on Airbnb. I'm looking on the maps. I'm clicking on the address. I'm looking at the street. And I'm going on Google Maps and I'm looking for that same exact address or that same exact house. I'm like, okay, so I'm trying this, all right? I go home. I pull up the maps. And Airbnb doesn't give you the exact address. So you're going street by street looking for on Street View, looking for that same house. I'm like, there's got to be a easier way than doing this. There's no way I'm going to get to 50 properties. So I spent an hour looking for one house, right? So one day I'm talking to Carl, and that's my business partner. He does a great job. At first I thought he was just AI, but anyways. So he's telling me, Sam, I got to go down to North Holden to do an inspection because we register a short-term rental property and they need to do an inspection, right? So I'm thinking, so the city comes down to inspect the property, and you have to register your short-term rental, right? Hello? That means there's probably a list somewhere of short-term rentals, right? So that got me thinking. So now I start reaching out to the towns, asking them, hey, can I get a list of your short-term rentals? Okay, register short-term rental.
So is the point here you're trying to buy existing Airbnbs, or are you trying to buy an Airbnb next to one that's already operating?
No, so the whole point is that we manage people's Airbnbs.
Got it. So you reach out to them and offer a service.
Yes.
Got it.
That's what we do. So once I realized that, hey, there's a list of short-term rentals out there, right, that the town has, I'm trying to get this list from them. I started reaching out to a couple of towns, and they were like, no. And I know how it works. It's a numbers game. Someone's going to say yes, right? So I reached out to one town, and they're like, yes, we have it, but this is the process, and this is how you get it, right? Now that I learned how the process works, I'm like, okay. I took that process, and I implemented it across the Cape, okay? Started hitting up 20, 30 towns, and I started getting all these lists. And I have a couple thousand addresses, right? So now I got the list, all for free. I didn't pay anything for this list, all right? Nice. All for free, all right? Now I have this list, but they don't give you the phone number. So from Andrew, I learned how to skip trace. And I'm going through skip trace, and I'm like, there's 1,000 addresses, and I can't skip trace them all. There's got to be an easier way. So Ben, my partner, he actually had somebody for me. Ben was like, hey, reach out to this person. So I reached out to a VA, and they skip traced 3.5 cents a line item. I'm like, that's great. So 1,000 addresses, I'm paying like, what, $10, $20, $30, $40, right? Whatever it is.
And that's just to get the phone number.
Just to get the phone number.
And then when you call the phone number, you might not necessarily get a person to answer that either, right?
Correct. So they skip trace it for me. So that was step 2. All right, now I got the phone numbers. I'm looking at that sheet. All right, I got a couple thousand addresses. Done. I got a couple thousand phone numbers. Great. Now I got to pick up the phone and call all these phone numbers. I'm like, there's got to be an easier way.
And cold calling is a whole nother game in itself.
So I don't want to do it. There's got to be an easier way. So now I remember, and I'm thinking like there's gotta be an easier way. So I'm thinking, back in high school, I did an internship in my senior year, and I did an internship for George Russell Realty. He's a city councilor now, and I'm thinking, hey, what if they're still doing the same thing? So I pick up the phone and I call the career counselor at the high school. I'm like, hey, I graduated back in 2010, and this is what I got, and this is how I can bring value to your students. She's like, come on in. I go in and I pitch what I need to pitch. So we talk, and she brought me a couple students. I'm like, great, now they can do internships, right? So now I have these students making calls. I got to train them, right? So now I'm training them, showing them how the work gets done, and I'm also going to compensate them for every lead that gets closed. Okay, so that's what I did. Got the list for free, got a VA to skip tracer for very, very cheap, found interns that would make calls, and I went from 6 to 22 properties.
Wow.
Yeah, within 6 months, by the way.
That is insane.
Yep.
That is crazy progress.
Yep. So it's good. And the one advice I got for people watching this right now, there's always an easier way to get the job done. Stop doing everything yourself. That's it.
So that's pretty much how you scale is you reach out to people that are already doing it,
Yep.
and then you have either VAs, interns, or other people that can do the smaller tasks for you repeatedly.
Correct.
Got it.
Correct.
Very nice.
Yeah.
What about somebody that wants to just purely get started from zero? Let's say they're working a 9 to 5, making, whatever 80K a year, and they want to get their first property or the first short-term rental. What advice would you give that person?
The advice I would give you is find a good team. Don't do everything yourself. There's multiple businesses I've tried on my own. Bottom line is that if you find good people, right? Good people, good partners that have the same vision and they want to grow, right? They're not the type of people that just want to find money. They're the type of people that when you run into a problem, they try to figure out how to make it work, right? That's the stage I'm in life, is that I don't work with people that say, hey, this isn't going to work, and they move on. No, how do you make it work? Anything will work in life. Anything you want will work. You got to figure out how to make that work, right? So if you want to start off from zero, find yourself a good team when it comes to having a good cleaner, having a good handyman. If you have a good team, then you can scale, right? Do not do it yourself. Don't tell yourself, I'm going to cut cost and do the cleaning myself, or I'm going to do the handyman job myself. Don't do that. Hire experts. You're not even paying for it. The guests are paying the cleaning fee on Airbnb, and that gets routed right to the cleaner. Don't waste your time. Your time is the most valuable thing you have right now, right? So utilize that time to grow yourself and grow your business, and don't do the miscellaneous things because you're trying to save money. If you're going to penny pinch, you're not going to grow.
Got it. And to the topic of growth, what are some books that you might have read, or perhaps courses, lessons that you've learned where you really felt like they made you grow as a person?
Yeah, so when I was struggling, when I went through that phase, Life's Second Chances, I would read that book. It's a French book, very, very good book. It helped me get back into reading because it really helped me. It really did help me see life in a different perspective. And then the second book I picked up was Think and Grow Rich. Huge. Big. I promise you. Read that book. If you haven't read it, read it and take it in, right? Don't just read it and put it away. Take in the lessons that you read in that book. Because after I read that book, I read The 15 Laws of Success. And then I read Outwitting the Devil. That's a really good book as well, too. Read that book. And then the last book I would suggest is Buy Back Your Time. If you're growing a business, you better buy back your time. That's it.
And that's all about systems and getting other people to do the work rather than doing it yourself.
I was able to resonate with that book. I actually read it a month ago, and I'm like, all right, these are things I'm already doing, but there are some tips in there that I could take and be able to continue my growth.
I love it. So what's next for you? Where do you want to take your business? Where else do you want to scale? Or are you more about stepping back now that you've established yourself?
No, I'm not stepping back. Look, I have a void to fill from my W-2 that I left, right? My W-2, I was a director, and I made really good money. So I need to get to at least 50 properties. If I already 2.5x'd in the last 6 months, I'm confident I can 2x by end of year. I have a plan in place, and I'm going to keep going at it until we grow this business. So I think the only thing we're tweaking right now is we're trying to pick the properties, the right properties, right? We're not just taking whatever comes to us. I just closed on a deal that's 5,000 square foot. It has a hot tub. It's huge. It's nice. Where people are reaching out asking if they can do weddings there.
Hmm.
Okay, it's on like 1.8 acres, um, and I want to be able to grab more of those properties, and not those little cottages, because these bigger properties, like one booking was just 17,000,
Wow.
right? So versus one booking at a cottage is like $200. So
Hmm.
it's a huge difference.
Yep.
And I think we're scaling to a point where running into higher end clients.
Got it. I believe Rob Abasolo, who used to be on Bigger Pockets,
Yeah.
his strategy was very similar. He like wanted to go for super unique or super experience oriented properties rather than the smaller ones, and that
Hmm.
was the same exact thing he was saying. You could do it for multiple events or multiple types of bookings, like weddings, like photo shoots, like even by the hour rentals as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about in your scaling now that you need help with or you are struggling with currently? What are some of your challenges? Or maybe somebody in the audience could perhaps help you with.
I think the struggle is keeping your callers always motivated. Um, Not everybody's meant to cold call.
Mm,
That's a fact. I've had a couple of students drop. At first, it seems exciting, and then once they get into it, right, it kind of it's just not for everybody. So you need somebody that actually loves it and that can close the deal. So I think one good place to find callers is existing wholesalers.
mm-hmm,
At a meetup, I met a wholesaler, and she's actually one of my callers because her wholesaling wasn't going that great. I met her at one of the Foxborough meetups. A year later, I had called her and I asked her, "Hey, how's wholesaling going?" And she's like, "Hey, I hate it. It's not going great." And I'm like, "Hey, I may have an opportunity for you. I have a list, right? So anything you get from there, that's a wholesale opportunity. That's all you. But this is what I need you to do for me,
mm-hmm.
right?" So it's all about negotiating, creating your own deals with people, right? And she was able to help me close on 3 deals just because I brought her on, and she loves it. I mean, she does the calls already, so this wasn't anything new to her. She just had
Mm-hmm.
to adjust the verbiage and the in what she was pitching, right? She's pitching short-term rentals now versus trying to get a house that she wants to wholesale.
Got it.
So
At what point do you transition from using some of the more cheaper labor, let's say maybe high school students, to something that's more professional? Because I know there's professional cold calling services out there that cost like 3-4 thousand a month, and they have really well trained people. Is that cost effective at any point?
no, I'm against it. Here's why.
Mm-hmm.
So my partners have said the same thing, and they said, "Hey, we can get VAs to do the job, all right, or expats in Mexico, wherever." Um, I want somebody local,
Mm-hmm.
and I want somebody local, even if it costs a little more money. Okay, I have this guy named Jack on my team right now. He does a great job. He's local. He lives here. He speaks the language. There's no accent. There's no issues. So when you're calling somebody, they want to know if you're local or not. You're not in the Philippines, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I need somebody local that can connect with the customers and clientele that we have here. And I'm willing to pay more for that eventually in the future once we get to 50 properties. That's my number right now. I get to 50, I'm going to have somebody replace me and we're going to restructure the whole business.
Mm, got it. I do like the aspect of the local person because oftentimes I also get cold call myself, like, "Hey, I'm working with such and such. We want to buy your property at this address," and I'm like, "What do you mean you're local or you're working with some like I can tell by your accent you're not even from this country. Like, how do you know where my property is?"
Yeah.
But if you're making that connection, like, "Oh, hey, maybe I grew up on this street, or maybe I actually am from one town over,"
Yep.
it's much easier to make that connection with that person. They might sell the property to you just because of that reason.
Correct. Especially if you know the local sandwich shops, right?
Hmm.
Or the local attractions, the local beaches, right?
Yep.
If you know those local pieces,
And you
when
mentioned that in conversation,
right,
especially.
it makes it so much easier.
Hmm.
So much easier. And that's why I have Jack making these calls or Vanessa making these calls. They do a really, really good job. Yeah, I mean, it really just comes down to building that connection. Just 3 hours of actually on my way
Hmm.
here, somebody called me and said, "Hey, do you want to sell your address, your property?" And I'm like, "No," and I can hear that accent and I can hear that script, right? The
Hmm.
minute I picked up that phone, within the first 3 seconds, I knew where this was going. I'm like, "Here we go again," right? So, yeah, I mean, scripts and not knowing the local, right? All the attractions that are local can hurt, especially when you're cold calling. So when I have Jack or Vanessa call, they don't really have a script. Just make it natural. Just have a normal conversation with a person and see where it goes.
Understood.
Yeah.
What about when you are looking for people that you want to do business with, like owners of these properties? Do you ever look for partners that say, hey, you buy the property so that I can run it? Or maybe they'll say, I want to buy something specifically so you could run it. Or do you mostly reach out to people that are kind of just tired of doing it themselves?
So that's a really good question. My partner, Archer Acquisitions, actually, um, that's what they did. So they had an investor that invested into these cottages and a lake house, all right? And they took three of the cottages and they turned to short-term rentals to test it, see how it went. So we went in, we did it, we made it profitable, and now all we're trying to do is just help the local community. So because there's a lot of owners out there that don't live in the Cape, that don't they just have a second home in the Lakes region, and they just need help, they just need support. So I'm just looking to help them as we grow. But if we come across more investors that say, hey, I want to do this, this, and this, I'm willing to listen, but it needs to make sense. Just a couple months ago, I had an investor reach out to me saying that, hey, I have this huge piece of land, and I want to create this. This is what I want to create. These are the cabins. This is how much it's gonna cost. Like he showed me his whole plan. I'm looking at the map. I'm looking on Airbnb, and I'm looking at if it made sense, and it didn't because it's in the middle of nowhere.
So there's no demand.
There's no demand. It makes no sense for me to go there, right? So I turned it down. If you're gonna partner up, let's make sure it makes sense. If it makes sense, let's do it. It's gotta help people, and there's gotta be value in it. That's number one. If there's no value in it for people, don't do it.
Got it.
Yep.
Very nice. I love it. And so what is your buy box, if you could describe it shortly? Is there a specific type of property you look for? Is it an area? Is it a certain price point?
So since I have my cleaners and handymans and all my techs established in the Cape, we're very confident. Like I can pick up a property tomorrow and have zero issues. Like I'm very confident in the Cape, Cape Cod. So in Sandwich, Falmouth, Mashpee, no issues. That's like my buy box in that area. And eventually, I want to expand deeper into the Cape. But where I'm targeting right now is around the Lakes region, New Hampshire. I have a great team up there as well too. And we actually just signed. That's where I was driving down from was Wolfboro. So we have a great team there, and we're gonna expand there. I'm probably gonna hit 10 or 12 more properties there. Once that's done, I'm probably gonna move down to Rhode Island and the Mattapiset, Fairhaven area. So I have my target areas already. I already mapped it out, know where I'm gonna go. But I have a number. Once I hit that number, I move forward. If I don't hit that number, I keep grinding until we hit it. Do you feel like I brought value to you?
Hell yeah.
What'd you learn? What were your key takeaways here?
My key takeaways, to be honest, were this is such a different area for me that not only am I not an expert, but I'm just seeing kind of what's possible. Like my bread and butter is long-term rentals. It's trying to keep, one tenant for years and years and, slowly raise up the rent as I improve my services so that they stay forever. I did dabble in medium-term rentals with the traveling nurses, but I got one and she was great. And I had another one that just said, even though I found you on this medium-term rental site, can I just stay here, for a year? I'm like, yeah, sure, you can stay as long as you want. A year came by, she said, yeah, I want to stay longer. I'm like, yeah, sure. I don't know why you went for a furnished, rental in order to find like a long-term apartment, but I'm not complaining. And after that, I just converted it to like a regular long-term. So the short-term game, the kind of like experience thing is very much out of my realm, but I had no idea that there was that much business. I had no idea that there was that much demand and that you could even build a business around operating other people's rentals, kind of like a property manager would.
Let me
So
give you
that
an example.
alone is amazing.
So one of our cottages, right? If you go on AirDNA, and I use that as a baseline comp, it says we'll make 45,000. Last year we made 90,000.
Wow.
450 square foot cottage.
But you can't rely on that every year, right? That's a good year.
Last 2 years, what 70 to 90, 75 to 90 or something like that. So we're doubling whatever the comps are. So here's the funny part. So we have another cottage over there, right? We're probably charging $1,800 a month for the long-term rental. Okay, but here I am. So that's what, making 24,000 at most, maybe, or 24,000, and here we are making 70, 80,000 on the other cottage.
Yeah.
Same thing.
That's crazy.
Doing short-term rentals. So my advice is that long-term rentals are good at stabilization, right? Like I have a long-term rental, but then I have a mid-term rental as well too, and I'll do nothing but mid-term rental there because that's what I set it up for. That's what it's going to be, and that's my business model for that property, right? So that's what I'm going to do. All right. Now, if you have another property that you know you're going to do short-term rental, stick to that business model. Do it. You can make a lot of money doing short-term rentals, and I love doing short-term rentals. I really do. Right? There's different challenges every single day. I mean, you're gonna have different types of people, weird things that are gonna happen, really weird things that are gonna happen, but you're gonna learn those challenges, and you're gonna learn how to overcome it. Right? I mean, there's people out there that are gonna try to take advantage. I just had somebody a week ago actually, no issues at all. All right, during her stay, she loved it. Everything was great. After she checked out, she put a $250 claim into Airbnb saying that it wasn't as described. I'm like, what are you talking about? So I looked through the notes. There was nothing wrong. She was saying, oh, the roof looks a little old. The roof isn't old. Everything's fine, right? Or the house, it rained the previous day, so there was like some dirt on the house on the side, right? She took a picture of that. So there's people that are going to try to take advantage of the system, right? There's people that are going to play games, right? So I'm used to all that from my W-2. Like when you manage hundreds of people, you learn what people's intentions are, right? What they try to do, right? Once you learn how personalities work, because I learned the sales end and I learned developing people and their personality. So when I see a guest that comes in or whatever they say through their messages, I'm already understanding what their intentions are, what they're trying to do, and it helps overcome those obstacles and run the business smoothly. So you're gonna face challenges. People are struggle. But if you're confident and you're used to those problems are really minor and really easy to deal with.
Got it. I'm assuming you no longer do the day-to-day stuff in your Airbnbs, right? You have people that take care of the random phone calls in the middle of the night from tenants.
Correct. Yeah. My VAs handle all that stuff, right? But if there's an escalation, I'm going in and helping with that escalation because they're probably not experienced on how to handle that situation. For example, the hot water goes out, right? What do? They know what to do. But sometimes you need a human touch. I can't just have a virtual assistant writing messages. Somebody needs to call them and listen to them. When you listen to people, 90% of your problem is gone. Just listen.
Yep.
Right? So my goal is once we get to that 50, I need somebody to replace me. And I can train them on how to listen, how to do the right things when you run into this and that issue.
You can almost probably do what you did with the wholesale girl and find a property manager that's already experienced as hey, do you want to just come work in my team? And you'll have ownership versus being, a cog in the machine at your
Correct.
regular job of property management.
Correct. But it's hard to find the right people. It's really hard to find the right people because people say, I want to do this. Again, they're in it for the money, but they don't know how to handle people. Right, and they hate people. So why are you in this business, right? I mean, some other challenges we face is like Airbnb and VRBO platforms where they push back. Like, I'm dealing with this right now. I had a guest last weekend put glitter in the hot tub.
Jesus.
Once you put glitter in the hot tub, you can never take that out.
Yeah.
And Airbnb is pushing me back, telling me that, hey, you can repair it. I'm like, you want me to get somebody to repair this where they're going to take apart the hot tub, they're going to take apart the jets.
Yeah.
It's going to be labor extensive. So if you want to pay for that, I'll get you a quote and let's work this out. But there's so many different aspects to the business, right? You have guests, clients that you're dealing with. You're dealing with owners as well too. Sometimes they're very strict and they don't want this and that in their property, right?
Like pets, for example.
Yeah, I had this problem 2 weeks ago where a guest came in, they had a party, and one of them peed on the bed. There was blood on the towels, blood on the wall. My old
They're not getting their security deposit back.
No, so there were so many issues that went wrong, but we fixed it. And the thing was, I have a guest coming in 4 hours.
Wow.
So I'm trying to figure out how do I get this done like now, right? The owner is pissed off. But I'm look, we can talk about this, but I care about a solution, right? We got to fix this up. So we had everything fixed up in like 2-3 hours. And then once everything was done, let's get on the phone. Let's figure out what happened. By that time, he was calm. We figured it out. Everything was good. No issues, right? But at the end of the day, we're going to figure it out. We're going to move fast. We're going to get the job done. That's what we do. But yeah, you got clients. You got platforms, Airbnb. You got owners. You got your VAs. You got your technicians, your cleaners. So we're dealing with 6, 7 different aspects of the business to make sure everything's just flowing smoothly.
How many hours a day do you work?
It depends. It really depends. Like,
Just roughly, like especially during your W-2 days versus now.
so
You find you working more or less?
it depends. I mean, at my W-2, it was what, 7 days a week still? Because as a director, when your businesses are running 7 days a week, your things go on, problems happen, right? Even though I'm working 5 days, I felt like I was working 7 days. So this is the same thing. When you're running a business, you're working 7 days a week, but some days can be longer, and some days can be 2 hours. Some days can be 4 hours, right? It really depends on how you structure out your day. Like, I have a calendar where I wake up, I do my miracle morning, which Andrew's been telling me to do since the beginning. So I do that. I drop my kids off at school. I go to the gym, and then I have this structure where 2 hours I got to dedicate to this, and then 2 hours I got to dedicate to this, right? And then in the meantime, things come up. When you're running a business, shit happens, right? Things come up. Something happened here. My VAs are telling me, this is what happened. This is what happened. So I'm dealing with all these other issues while I'm focused on what my foundation is. Because if I don't focus on my foundation, doesn't matter. Everything's going to crumble, right? So that means now I have a list of things I need to do, and my day doesn't end until I get that list of things to do. Some days are shorter. Some days are longer. That's just normal in life. Obstacles come, and you keep moving forward.
Got it. I love it.
Okay. You feel good?
Hell yeah.
Good.
Let's have another fun though. What do you like to do for fun? What do you like to do with your family? What does an off day look like for you?
Kids.
Yeah?
Spend time with my kids. They want to play Call of Duty. They want to go to the park. They want to swim in the pool. They want to whatever I can do with my kids, I think is what I enjoy. Fun fact, actually, my son came to me summer of 2023, and he told me, "Dad, I want to create a lemonade stand." I'm like, "Why?" And I think he just saw it on TV or something, right? So I'm like, I think he was coming to me for money, all right? So I'm like, I'm not going to do anything. Just go get your iPad and create a business plan and then come back to me. That's what I told him. Create a business plan first.
How old is he?
He was 6 or 7 at that time.
Wow.
And he's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Go on your iPad and then go on Google and then type in business plan. I want you to do this, this, and this, right?" So he spends 3 months trying to figure it out, okay? I'm not doing anything. I just want to see if he's serious or not. Because here's the thing. A lot of people will tell you, "I have this idea and I want to do it," but not everybody executes that idea. They just talk about it, right? Yeah. But I want to see, does he really want to do this, or give it some time? So I give it 3 months, and he actually did want to do it. He came back to me with a business plan. So
that's pretty cool.
So now we know that how many cups you need, how much you want to make, all the things you want to do. Now that he has this business plan together, the next thing that came to my mind is, all right, I've already been through this with hundreds of people in the past, right? Where they tell you they want to do something, they create a plan, but they never see through with it. The only time you get somebody to finish something is if there's a carrot at the end, right? If there's something dangling. So I asked my son, "What are you going to achieve at the end? What are you going to get out of this?" And the first thing that came out was PS5. I'm like, awesome. Great. That's what we're going to utilize. That's going to be like the thing that I'm going to use to get you to your goal. All right. So, and we're in the car, like driving home when we was talking about this. So now we created this plan. We went to the grocery store. We did 4 events. All right. Once we did those 4 events, he made $790.
Wow.
So he was making what, $30 an hour? He's only working 6 hours a day.
That's not bad.
4 events. So he made $790. It took a whole year. We only did 4 events throughout the whole year. And this was in December of 2024, a couple months ago. All right. We went to Best Buy in New Hampshire because he didn't have the tax money. Right. So I drove him out
there. Is it
there.
cheaper out there to get a PS5?
No, it's the same money, but he didn't have the tax money, taxes, right? So he went out there and he had cash, gave cash from what he made from his lemonade stands.
Very cool.
Got his PS5 and he bought a second controller for his little brother. Very happy. All right. Then I asked him, "What are you gonna do next?" Right. And so he wrote a book. So my son, he's gonna be 8 years old. He's 7 years old right now. He has his first book that's published on Amazon, and you can go to Barnes and Noble's in Millbury. It's called Sarim's Lemonade Stand.
Wow.
So it's in stores. He published his first book.
How did he write it? What did he write about?
So we sat down together, and at night we were just writing on a Word document, right? We were getting AI to make the pictures and all this stuff. We had like 12 pages. And I'm like, I don't know if this is good, right? I don't know if it's good. So I start reaching out to some VAs, all right? And after we reached out to some VAs, so like, no, you can do so. They create a whole new manuscript. They did all new illustrations. That 12 pages turned into 60 pages somehow. I didn't know we were doing it wrong, but we just did it. So it turned into 60 pages, all right? And then we got it published once we got everything going. It took some time. And if you actually look him up, Sareem's Lemonade Stand, he was actually in the newspaper,
Wow.
the Telegram and Gazette, a couple weeks ago, for what he accomplished as a child. So
That's super cool.
huge, and that made me happy. That made him happy. And I'm thinking, and he's telling me, hey, now he wants a Nintendo, this and this and this. I'm like, great, now you know how to do
That's
it.
3 more books.
Yeah, go do it yourself, right? But this last lemonade stand he had to pay me back my initial $200. So I paid him $200 to start it
That was
up.
the investment,
So
seed money.
he needs to pay me back,
That's
and now
cool.
you can go do things on your own. You know how to do it? Go do it. I'm not gonna do it for you. I'll guide you. I'll show you, but you got to do the work.
See, that's what it's like having a director father who's also a real estate entrepreneur.
Yeah, no, it's fun, and I'm glad because
Wish I had that as a kid. My parents just say, "Yeah, you can go mow some lawns, get $20." I'm like, all right,
yeah, but
that's my ceiling.
schools won't teach you financial
Hell no.
literacy, right? And that's what I was teaching them at 5 and 6 years old. I'm buying these financial literacy activity books. I have him do it every single day.
Wow.
And he's learning how to do it. And now he did a real life scenario, and it worked out. So I taught him, and he learned, and now he can go do it on his own. That's it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Financial literacy books for kids.
Yes.
Holy
Teach your
shit.
kids.
That, I think that is the golden nugget to take away from this podcast right here is if you have kids or younger siblings even.
And no one teaches you. No one taught
No one
me.
does, yeah.
Right. No one taught me when I was. My mother's a single mother. When I was 17, I learned that I had to figure it out on my own because no one's going to teach you. No one's going to give you anything in life, right?
Yeah.
No handouts. I don't want to give handouts to my kids. I'm not going to make them lazy. I want them to learn how to do it on their own. That's it.
Have you ever read the book Fables of Fortune?
No, I have not.
It's a really interesting book. It's about basically this middle class lawyer in LA, and he basically handles like divorces and estate sales for really rich people.
Yeah.
And he basically describes how difficult it is for kids that grow up rich to not do drugs because there's literally nothing else in life that stimulates them, and how basically families that are super loving and stuff like that just tear each other apart as soon as like there's an inheritance, as soon as there's some kind of like, you know, gain to be made from a sale of a house. And he says at the end of the book basically like a few lessons for how to make sure your kids don't grow up spoiled and don't grow up like this. And it's very much don't just give them the money, teach them to get it or how you maybe accomplished it. And especially don't let them know that you're growing up rich. Like make them have like a regular experience.
Yep.
Not necessarily like hide the money or pretend to be poor, but
Correct.
if they see a new iPhone that comes out, immediately they get to have it. They never learn the whole, oh, I want this, let me work for it, let me earn it, and then let me appreciate it because I worked for it. Because if they don't have any struggles, they're never going to learn how to overcome struggles.
Yeah, something you said clicked as well too. When I was at my W-2, one of the most struggling territories or states that I had was Vermont. And one advice I can give you is that it's important that you surround yourself with the right people, right? I think once I started surrounding myself with Andrew Freed and the people at the meetups, I started learning more, and I started going into that frequency, right, of that mindset that we're all in. But anyways, in Vermont, I used to hire people, bring them on, and I used to see how they wanted to change their life, right? Where they grew up and the things that they grew up around, right? Whether that be drugs or whatever. In fact, you know what? I'll just say that. Like I had one person that stole money from us, right?
That worked for you?
Yeah.
Wow.
And the rule is just fire them. And I'm thinking, how do I make this person better? I didn't fire her. I found a way to make this person better, right? So they gave the money back. But what I learned was that when you go back to that same environment, you get pulled back into that direction.
Oh yeah, that's exactly why drug addicts, as soon as they go back on the street, they get back into it because it's the same stimulus, same surrounding.
Correct. And the people that got out of it are the people that left that environment, right? So I like to analyze people. I like to see what what gets them going, what happens, right? I want to help them. So, yeah, and that's what I noticed is that I'm bringing this person on. They're crushing it. They're doing a really, really good job, and now they're right back on that path, right? And in Massachusetts, in Marlborough, I had somebody years ago that came to us and said that, hey, he rode his bicycle to work, all right? I'm like, why are you riding a bicycle to work in the cold?
Jesus.
And he was working at a coffee shop, and he was living in his friend's basement on an air mattress, okay? And he's like, Sam, all I want is an opportunity. That's all I want. So we give him an opportunity. I'm like, I don't want you learning from this one place. I want you learning from 5 different stores, five different managers. Because when you learn from different places, you're going to pick up more, combine them all, and then do your own thing. 1 year later, he has his own Lexus.
Wow.
And he has his own apartment.
Not bad.
Right? And those are the things I love seeing is people that struggle, but they have that will to get out, and they actually take action. Sometimes they just need direction, right? You give them the right direction, they do really well.
What inspired you to not give up on that person and even try to help them out? Because it seems like a lot of people either don't want the help, or if you're kind of like pulling their arm along, they won't necessarily appreciate it or go with you. What inspired you to do that?
If they have that will, right? I want to know, what is their character like? Is this, are they lying? Are they just fake, right? Or are do they really want to do better?
Because I'll be honest, if I had an employee that stole money, I'd be like, yeah, you're fired, like not even a question. And you actually took the time to try to figure out their story and how to help.
They were honest, number one. They owned up to it, right? Number two, I know they're talented because they're crushing it. They're doing a really good job. Not a lot of people are talented in those ways, right? They know how to drive sales. They know how to drive business. They're making money. They're helping people around them, but they're just in a shitty situation. That's what it is. They're just in a bad situation. And I think that person ended up moving out of state. And I was happy they moved out of state because wherever you were wasn't helping you.
Yep.
Right? Even though you were doing well for yourself and making money, you were taking that money, you didn't know how to use it right. Right? So yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of people that been down the wrong path, and I wasn't able to get them back, and that's not my job to do so.
Yeah, of course.
But I want to see that person flourish because I see that they're talented. I see that they can do it. It just sucks that they're back into that environment that they grew up in. That's all.
Got it.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope I provided value.
Dude, absolutely. This has been amazing. Do you have any social media or anything that you want to plug?
No, I don't really. So,
if people want to work with you, where do they go to find
we're
you?
working our social media. Just go on Nightly Properties, look us up, nightlyproperties.com, or just look me up on Facebook, reach out to me.
You go to local meetups too, so that's where people can meet you as well.
Yeah,
right?
the 2 meetups I always go to, Andrew Freed in Worcester, or I'll go to Kim Rodriguez in Foxborough. Always. I always go to those 2 meetups. Great people. I've been to so many meetups. Shoot, you know what? I went to one meetup, and they were trying to sell me solar. That's all it was. I hated it, all right? I only go to meetups that you're going to find value in, right? So you can find me at those meetups, or just hit me up on Facebook. I don't really use Instagram. I don't even think I have an Instagram account. I don't use any of that stuff, but just reach out to me. You'll find me. I would love to help bring value, but bring value to people that are serious, that care, and that see through, right? Don't waste my time. That's all.
Love it. This has been Samuel, everybody.
All right, let's do it. Let's go.
Yep. Tune in for another episode next week, and follow us at the Freedom Real Estate Podcast.
Let's go.